Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Brooke.
I'm Diana.
And this is episode 68.
Yay!
Today we are going to be talking about The Walking Dead season 10, episode 4, entitled Silence the Whisperers. We will also discuss the movies Gemini Man and Joker. Before we dive in, how are you doing today, Diana?
I am doing great, Brooke, and I'm a little nervous and a little excited because we're trying something new. We're recording remotely, so
that's okay.
Yeah, it's a new thing, so but otherwise I'm doing good. It's just throwing me for a loop with the time change, I can tell you that much. Drive home and it's dark every day, and it's like, holy crap. So how are you?
I know, it's super dark. I know, I feel like I have no time in the day, and it is throwing me off as well. I'm doing okay. We are doing remote due to me being a big baby. I've got a back injury. So,
no, not a big baby.
That's why we're...
Yeah, I had the same thing, so I totally get it. So it's very painful.
Yeah.
So
I know. Well, okay. Like, speaking of pain, in this episode, Silence the Whisperers, I feel like there was a lot of bullying and pain and just emotional, drama going on in this episode. And so, there's some advice going around Alexandria on how to deal with bullies. And one of the person's advice, in particular, Negan, he had said, he told Lydia, try to kill them with kindness, her bullies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about that. Are you the type of person to kill somebody with kindness, or do you instinctively want to retaliate?
Well, it's so funny. It reminds me of a time in high school, and I felt like I was being bullied, and I did use the tactic of killing them with kindness because I didn't want to get beat up. But I'm like, oh yeah. So, but it worked. It worked for me. So,
really?
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah. So what about you?
I learned to kill people with kindness probably when I was about 21 years old, and my instructor in cosmetology school had said that she encountered somebody at Costco, probably one of the cashiers, and she gave us insight because, we're learning about customer service along with hairstyling. And so her philosophy was, you don't know what is going on in that person.
Right.
Or like maybe they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And so she says that she always tries to kill people with kindness. Now, for me, hearing that for the first time, I'm like, yeah, right. I don't think so. That person should not be acting like that. You got to do a job. But honestly, I have been living that way since she told us, gave us that insight.
Right.
So I try to think that I helped Gabriel with his job, his customer service position. You never know what they're going through. Just, wait it out, kind of a thing. Be patient. And I think for some people it works temporarily, but to a point, maybe it's, maybe you kind of have to put your foot down eventually.
Yeah, I so agree with you, because I think I know I taught my kids the same thing, was you never know what the other person's going through. Maybe that person wants to be your friend. They don't know how to act. Maybe, you just don't know. So you don't know what their life is at home. Yeah, but at some point you can only take so much, or it depends on the circumstances, which is what happens, in this episode.
Yep.
So, listeners, what do you think? Would you? Oh
my gosh. Now we know where Diana stands.
Oh, so listeners, what would you do? Well, it is, what would you kill someone with kindness? So,
oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I was on the right track.
Would you kill someone?
With kindness. Anyways, let us know what you think. You can leave us a comment on Twitter at @in_screens or on our Screens and Focus podcast page. You can follow us on our Instagram or subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. So, Brooke.
Wow, you could really get a hold of us.
Yeah.
We got a lot of platforms.
We got a lot of places. Reach out. Tell us something.
Tell me something good. Okay. Back on track.
Anyway, Brooke, what were your overall thoughts on this episode?
Oh, I love this episode, and this episode displayed love and hate. We got to see adults mentoring children, and we see how the children are able to process their issues on their own as well. And in this episode, it was also very frustrating for me to watch because I cannot stand bullying, but our group is also protective of that as well. And so I feel like they're really trying to tiptoe on eggshells, trying to figure out how to handle this, especially because the person in particular who was being bullied has a reputation, and there's two sides to every story.
Right.
So maybe people feel that there was reason, and this was acceptable behavior, even though it just wasn't.
Yeah.
How about you? What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was a really interesting episode. We finally get to see that kiss between Michonne and Ezekiel, and it's not quite what it appears to be. And Judith gives some insightful perspective on the enemies. And Lydia, of course, is bullied, and it's Negan to the rescue. And all of this is happening while trees are falling and breaching the perimeter and allowing walkers inside the communities.
True. Speaking of kiss, we also got to see Magna and Yumiko kiss. And I actually never questioned their relationship, but it seems like other people in the Walking Dead community, the fans, believe that they had some chemistry, which I didn't see. I don't know. Did you?
I don't know. I don't think I did either. Yeah, I don't recall it anyways, so it didn't stick out to me.
Yeah, so I was actually really surprised, but that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad for Lydia in this episode, hence the title of the episode, Silence the Whisperers. Lydia just isn't fitting in Alexandria at all, and she is constantly being tormented by that highwayman woman. I think her name was Margot.
Yeah,
And anyways, and then there's two other Alexandrians who are ganging up on Lydia. And she's just not accepted by many. And she's ends up hanging out with a fellow outcast, and his name is Negan. And she knows where to find him during the day and talk to him, probably because he understands how she feels. But, Negan gave her some advice to kill them with kindness and just let it go. But we see that Lydia just has a hard time staying quiet. So she brings in the dead squirrel to the table at lunch and decides to mutilate it in front of those bullies. And that blood squirted on that one guy's face. And it just started that, she got them back because they had painted on the door.
Yeah.
Silence the Whisperers.
Yeah. I too felt really bad for her. And I too really hated the bullying. And I wondered why Aaron didn't step in more than he did. He only told them to focus on their training. And so I was like, I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I'm like, why didn't he say something to them? I don't know.
Well, I thought that was weird too, but I'm wondering now that we've seen how he feels about Negan.
Yes.
And, maybe he just feels that they're validated because her group, hurt their people. You think? I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe he just thought, oh, well.
I don't know.
I mean, how do you just let that happen?
Right.
He must have some feelings of his own.
Yeah.
Internalizing them. So
exactly.
It'd be interesting to find out what that would be. I have a feeling that it's really relative to retaliation. But Daryl's not okay with the bullies, nor is he okay with the friendship that she's building with Negan. And he actually approaches and removes her from hanging out with Negan.
Yeah, I appreciated that about Daryl. He is being very protective of her, and I think he feels that hanging out with Negan isn't a good idea because it's not going to sit right with others, and especially when she's trying to fit in.
True. And then she gets attacked by her enemies of Alexandria, and out of nowhere, Negan appears and saves her. Well, by coming to her rescue, he pushes Margot away, and then she ends up busting her head against a wall and then dies instantly. Oh, shoot.
Oh, man,
Negan is in a big trouble, and no one's going to be okay with him accidentally killing a person in the group. Yikes. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But while Lydia was getting jumped, she tells him that she loves Henry.
I know.
I thought that was really, really sad.
I know.
She was pleading, she didn't deserve to be jumped.
No.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know who deserves to be jumped, but in this case, she did not deserve that.
No, not at all.
So then when we see Daryl, he went to go visit Negan after the incident, and Daryl doesn't trust Negan at all, and he's still holding Negan accountable for what he did in the past. And Negan actually thought that if he showed the group his good behavior, that maybe, just maybe, he'd be able to redeem himself. Well, all the talk about moral code means nothing now, and they exchange words, bringing up the feelings from the past, and, Daryl's in a position that he doesn't know really what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Negan says to Daryl, for the record, screw her. She was an asshole beating on a kid. The world is better off.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that Negan said that he was starting to buy into the moral code, but he did do terrible things, and I don't know, you can't just do a good deed and everything is forgiven. I think it takes a while. And, I was thinking about it. He bashed 2 of our friends' heads in, and he didn't flinch when he did it. And he burned Dwight's face, and he had sex slaves, one of them being Sherry. So while I think he's heading in the right direction, I do think it's going to take more than befriending Judith and helping Lydia. But he does have a soft spot for kids, which I am really happy about. And I also think that it says a lot about Daryl, that he's, he believes Lydia and he's not jumping on the bandwagon of killing Negan. And even Negan sees Daryl's struggle of wanting to do the right thing.
Right.
So I liked all of this, seeing this between them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so let's talk about Ezekiel.
Easy-E.
So, oh my gosh, I was really, really moved by this part of the episode. They've all lost so much, but Ezekiel is in a deep depression with the death of his son Henry, the loss of the kingdom, and his separation from his wife Carol. And he's lost, and he's feeling like a failure. So he's standing on the edge of a cliff, and thank goodness Michonne happened to be in the area and was able to talk him down. And then she shares with him that she was in a similar place, which I think is very powerful. Sometimes you just need to know you're not alone. And so they hold hands, and at one point he kisses her, and then he backs away and apologizes. And when we see this in the previews, I thought that it would be under different circumstances, but now I know that it was just because he needed a connection. And so as they're walking out of the woods, she says, "You aren't a bad kisser." And he says, "I'm a mess. Wasn't at the top of my game." And I thought that was just really cute and funny at the same time.
Aww.
Yeah.
I know. That moment was really heartfelt to me, and I believe. So when I was watching it, I didn't catch that was the bridge where the bridge had fallen, where Rick had gone missing.
Oh, I didn't either. Are they there again?
That's apparently where he went. And I'm just wondering.
Oh my gosh. So that's heartbreaking on Michonne's part, because she does talk about Rick and how she has to be super strong because her rock is no longer there, and she has to, take care of 2 kids and lead this group. And it reminded me of everything that she's carrying with her.
Exactly.
Wow,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Exactly, yeah. And so she basically, saved Ezekiel from possibly harming himself and leaving the community, or basically a family, right?
Yeah, I liked that when she said that, he turned around and did he squeeze her hand? Oh, he did something, and then he says, what does he say? Like, and I still smile, or something like that. I don't know, but I felt, oh my God, he was in such a deep depression. She helped him out, and then he saw her, how sad she was, and then he in turn was trying to lift her up. So I just thought that was that's a really nice friendship that they have.
Yeah, I believe so too. Can we talk about that humongous tree that fell down at Hilltop real quick?
Okay, that fell down?
Yeah.
Or got pushed over, sawed down and pushed over.
Holy shit. I mean, okay, like, I get that they feel that it's a threat, but that was a ginormous tree. And to take that thing down, what?
Yeah.
It was huge. So, and then maybe you can help me out. Who is Hilltop's leader? Is it Ezekiel?
It seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I couldn't really tell because after Tara, I'm not sure. And then Jesus, of course. Like I'm assuming that Ezekiel is taking the place.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see Hilltop having to defend the outside of the walls from walkers, and there were so many coming, and part of the wall actually broke open and the walkers got in.
I know.
We got to see Judith and her amazing sword fighting skills alongside her mother, Michonne, and apparently they were able to clear the walkers for now. They want to go to Oceanside to check on that community and see if anything is happening over there. By this tree falling, it's not a coincidence that there's possibly 3 attacks that could mean that the Whisperers are the cause of these hordes of walkers attacking as well.
Right.
So I had to watch that episode, or just that part again, like, wait, why are they going to Oceanside? And so, and then Luke, he was super excited.
Yeah.
To go and see, his girlfriend over there.
Hopefully she's not a spy.
Yeah. I don't know. So far, I feel like the spy is going to be Gamma.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So, what else did you notice?
Oh, so Daryl. So, we talked a little bit about him being protective of Lydia throughout the episode, and I love it when she starts to cry and he puts his arm around her and he's just consoling her. And I thought, oh my gosh, Daryl has been so I don't know, there's been a shift in him, and I really like it. I really like where he's at right now. And so he goes out and talks with Carol, and she says everyone is talking about Negan again, like time never moves. And, he tells Carol that he believes Lydia. And Carol says, well, this is all just a distraction. Our real enemy is out there. But then Daryl says, well, enough bad stuff is happening in here, and if we don't fix it, there isn't going to be anything, for them to have or take or anything else. So then she jokes, we should have just gone to New Mexico.
Right.
And then we see Daryl and Michonne talk, because Daryl radios Michonne to let her know what's happening. And Michonne tells Daryl that, you have to protect Lydia to save all of us. Alpha could have killed us, but I think she wants you to protect her daughter. So if Lydia runs off, it will hurt us. And she needs to stay at Alexandria. And Michonne gives Daryl her vote when the council votes and says she knows that he will do the right thing.
Right.
So after the meeting, Aaron, along with others, want to kill Negan. And Sadiq says, we created a civilization, and to kill Negan would undermine what we have built. And, the Whisperers are attacking, and we are taking our eye off the ball. So I think
exactly.
I think what Sadiq is saying and what Carol is saying is we need to look to the bigger threat here.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Don't you think it's amazing that Sadiq is able to compensate his PTSD and his strategic personality? I mean, he, once it's down to business, he can snap out of that PTSD pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
He's having some real issues.
Yeah. I really like him.
Me too.
I'm really liking him. I like his character. I like his big brown eyes.
I know.
So I think he's a good guy. I think he says the right things. It's funny. I feel like in a way he reminds me a little bit of Glenn. I don't know, just something about the way he approaches things. That's the way Glenn was.
Aww.
So I just realized that right now. I miss
That's
Glenn.
Cool.
Yeah.
I do too.
Brooke, what were other things that you noticed?
Well, I also noticed that Silence the Whisperers tagging, like graffiti, that was like everywhere in Alexandria. Did you notice that too?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I was actually kind of surprised at that because I didn't realize that they were doing that in multiple places. I thought they just did it on their front door. And then you look around and it seems like they've been tagging for a while because there's a lot of places.
You're right. There is. Yeah.
So that's pretty messed up that it's been going on that's got to be symbolic to the person that lives there. Plus,
right.
People that the Whisperers ended up killing, and putting their heads on the pike. So I just think that's really conflictive. And it would be really hard for Lydia to continue to live there amongst all those people.
I can see it being a struggle for her, for sure.
Yeah. What else did I notice? At the end of the episode and the music was going and then you hear all these stomping noises outside of the walls of Alexandria and then all of a sudden they just went shh and then everything stopped. So was that real or was that part of the music?
I'm not sure either because it was the walkers rumbling, right? It's like they were getting it's almost like they were really closing in on them, right? And then I heard that too. I really wasn't sure what that was either.
Okay. I don't know. That confused me though. But I thought that was a really good, whether it be special effects to the music or if they're really outside the door. So I'm kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
If they're there. And so that would mean that the film of the sequence of the film is not coinciding with each community, right? Because it seems like, I don't know, I just feel like they shouldn't be there just yet, but I'm not sure. Maybe they are. I don't know. I also noticed, because I watched The Talking Dead, Abraham, you remember our buddy Abraham.
Yeah, the one, Negan bashed his head in.
Yes. His name is Michael Kudlitz, and he actually directed this episode, which is his second show that he directed, apparently. So I thought that was pretty good that he was able to, work with Negan, and Negan killed him, And
there was a lot of action, and that was pretty good. He's doing really good as a director. So
I know. I
kudos
think so
to
too.
him.
Yeah. I also noticed Magna and Yumiko. They're having relationship issues, and Magna seems to be on a different side of things. Magna tells Yumiko, "You're not my lawyer anymore."
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah, they were having some issues. Like, it was almost like when Yumiko was trying to protect her outside the walls of the hilltop, Magna really wanted to stay and fight the walkers because she thought she could hold them back. And so it was almost like she just doesn't want to be controlled. Like, something about control she wasn't okay with.
Yeah.
Having Yumiko call her back. So after that, I noticed that they were just unhappy with each other.
Yeah, there's some underlying issues there for sure.
Yeah. What did you notice in this what else did you notice in this episode?
I noticed that Judith is so wise. It's like she's so young, but she's so wise. So Michonne says never take enemies by their word. And Judith says, well, because they're talking about the whispers and how to handle them. And so Judith says, well, you know how we tire RJ before bedtime to get him to go to sleep. And so Michonne says, yeah. And she says, well, maybe the Whispers want to keep us fighting back until we get so tired, and then they have the advantage. And Michonne's all like nodding like, oh my God, she really does know what's going on. So I just thought that was really so insightful of Judith. So it was just really cute analogy.
I love that. That was so amazing. I love that conversation.
Yeah.
And it was just like they were the two of them on their own. But then you look around, there's like Eugene in the back seat, and then somebody's, steering the horses.
Yeah.
And they were just in their own little world having a discussion, mother and daughter.
Well, I felt like a little bit throughout this episode, even though Judith is so young, I feel like she's showing that there's a lot of things she can handle. And I think that that's reassuring to Michonne in a way. I mean, she's still a little girl. She still needs to be taken care of. But it's good to know when your kids, when you just have that realization, oh, my kid does know what's going on. They get it. And so I just think that was very cool. I also noticed that Heaven I Know by, I think it's Gordy, was played at the beginning and at the end of the episode, and I really, really liked the song a lot.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, and I thought it was just so melancholy, and it was just added, me and music, it's always music, but it really adds to the show. So I really, really like that part.
Awesome. Good pointing out the music. That was really nice. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, or what? I don't know. I forgot how it actually goes, but I think they were counting, right?
I don't remember the counting.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So, Brooke, why do you love this show?
Oh my gosh, this gets me every time. I love the excitement, the surprise, and in fact, Daryl is one of my favorite characters, and he is acting more vocally than ever before. And I love that they've put him in this position. I see a sense of change coming soon, and I am becoming super protective of my characters in the show. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen. So, you see, I love the villains as well as the good. And I'm interested to see how the groups will end up working together or defensively. Yeah. Because something is going to happen. Yeah. Why do you love the show?
I love the show because it brings out the bad and the good in every episode and in everyone. I mean, we see the bullying, the paranoia, the revenge. We see difference of opinions or approaches. It's about cohabitating and surviving. So this show and the characters display love and friendship and bravery, and I love that it always has you thinking. It's like, what would I do in that situation? So I just really appreciate it, and that's why I love this show.
Great.
And so we are so now we are at and the award goes to. So Brooke, what was your favorite quote, character, or moment?
Well, my favorite character and my favorite character for this episode goes with a lot of words and quotes, and he's amazing. My award goes to Negan for protecting Lydia and coming to her aid. I thought that was very valorous and victorious. Like, just thank you, Negan, for doing that, right?
Yeah.
He is a supportive person. He seems to be getting more benefit of the doubt by the children, more so than the adults. And I think that has a lot to say, because if a kid doesn't like you, they will let you know. So he seems to be a changed person, and I like that he's trying to be a good person at that.
Yeah, me too.
So who is your favorite character, quote, or moment for this episode?
Well, I'm going with Judith because she seems to shine even in small moments, and I love her. So Michonne and Judith help with fighting off the walkers, and I must say it was so cool to see Judith fighting alongside Michonne. She was basically mirroring Michonne's movements, and that must have been a really proud moment for Michonne. Yeah. You know, I just think it's just very cool to teach your daughter something, and then she's just doing it right alongside you. So
I know,
it's
so
very
awesome.
Cool. So they're bonding a lot. So, and I like seeing that. You know.
Me too. Me too.
So, Brooke, what else are you currently watching?
I'm watching. Well, it seems like I'm watching quite a bit, but as far as movies go, as you know, and some of you friends out there, you might also know that I went and saw The Joker last week on my day off. I loved it. It's my favorite movie this year.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes, hands down. I hope that this movie is nominated for cinematography, best actor, supporting actor. I just hope that it gets up there. I hope a lot of people end up seeing this movie who do the voting for the Academy Award nomination, the Golden Globes, right? I just hope that the type of people that vote will watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's so much controversy about this character and their emotional well-being and possibly influencing society in doing things that are unlawful. I don't have that mindset. I'm not one to pull a trigger because somebody tells me to or because something told me to. It's just this movie, I don't see it affecting people's lives the way that the bad rap that it's getting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything of that sort with this movie?
I haven't heard anything recently. No. I mean, in the beginning,
I know there are a lot of people they seemed concerned that this is going to influence young people in harming themselves or others.
Oh no!
By this film.
I hadn't heard that. I've actually heard positive things from the people that I know of that have seen it. They've all liked it. So everybody's saying it's good. So, and I know the reviews were mixed about it, but every person that I have talked to who has seen it has really liked it.
Love it. Okay.
Just
So,
FYI.
thank you. This movie, I love that it could stand alone. It doesn't have to be, where there's a sequel. This to me is like a prequel that can just be all by itself. And it starts out to where we understand who the Joker was before he became the Joker, and why or how he made that transition to become the Joker. And then it does take place in Gotham City, which is cool. I like that. Mm-hmm. It does seem to take place in the 1970s, which is cool because of the very natural colors of the clothing, the vehicles, and also what a clown might have looked like in the 70s.
Yeah.
So this movie made me sad. It made me laugh. It broke my heart at times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I totally recommend it. If you're a fan of DC, if you're a fan of darkness a little bit, I recommend this movie to anybody 17 and older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dominic was so mad. He's like, "What? How could you go see it without me?" And I'm like, "'Cause it's not for you."
Yeah.
So eventually he'll watch it, but you got to check it out, people.
I will.
Okay. I also watched The Best of Enemies. I rented it. It is on a new release, and The Best of Enemies is Sam Rockwell and Taraji P. Henson. Mm-hmm. And Sam Rockwell's character and Taraji P. Henson's character, they basically have to work together on a segregated issue in their community, and Sam Rockwell is the president of the KKK in their community.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Taraji P. Henson is obviously an African-American woman, and this is based on a true story. This really went down, and you get to see how they work together within the community and also how they make change in the community for a good cause.
Yeah.
So I recommend it. It's a good friendship movie. It's a good, movie based on morale. And it's just nice to see some good stories out there.
Yeah.
And it's a true story.
Yeah, I like those. So
yeah. What else are you watching, my friend Diana?
Well, I am continuing to watch all my shows that I love, but I just kind of wanted to bring up This Is Us because I just happened to watch the latest episode last night, and I don't know, it just reaffirmed my love for this program. It's just really good at storytelling about family, and what I love is the flashbacks. It talks about current time, it goes in flashbacks, and then it mirrors the situation. So something that is happening to one of the sons as he's a grown man and dealing with his family, it shows when he was a kid and how his father and mother handled a similar situation. And so you see it in flashbacks. So you see it's Randall. So it's Randall, and Randall is the African-American child. So it shows him as an adult with his wife. They are dealing with this foster daughter that they have. Well, they've adopted her since. And she's 14, and she's dating a kid that has a child, and then they have the parents over. Yeah, and they're talking to them, and people aren't meshing really well. And, because these parents think this, and this parents think this. But at the same time, it shows Randall when he was a young boy, and his mom and dad are parenting him. And because his parents are white, it's the connection between Randall and his dad, and how they deal with kind of a racial issue, and how Randall connects with an African American teacher that he has at his school, and how the father is feeling kind of threatened about that. So and what happens is both of these scenes take place at a dinner at their house where they invite the other people to their house. So it's kind of mirroring what happened back, in time and what's happening currently. So I just love the show. So for anybody who doesn't watch it, you should watch it. And it's just really good. But I
awesome.
So I also watched a few weeks ago, and I didn't talk about it yet, I watched Gemini Man. And it's an action thriller by Ang Lee starring Will Smith. And it's about an assassin ready to retire, but finds himself trying to outrun the government and a younger, faster, cloned version of himself. So it didn't get the best of reviews, but I liked it. And I thought that the action and the technology to de-age Will Smith was amazing. And it was a long process for Ang Lee. It took him like 2 years to... he filmed it in 3D, which I guess is not the norm, and had to do a lot of things to it. Because, the cloned person of Will Smith is, in a lot of the movie. So it's not just like a scene. It's a lot of the movie. So it just took a lot of, technology to get the movie out right. So I appreciate that very much. And Will Smith is one of my favorite actors. I mean, he has so much charm about him that it really comes through. And so I did like the movie, and I would recommend it if you like Will Smith or if you like action, movies. It's good. I like it.
That's cool.
I also saw The King on Netflix.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it's with Timothée Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. They both gave great performances. I really, really liked the movie. I learned a lot about Henry VIII, which was great because I really didn't know much about him. And he's a reluctant heir to the throne, but his father and brother die, and he is forced to rule, that in which he was trying to escape. So he has to face war, treachery, and emotional relationships. And I just have a new appreciation for Henry V, and I recommend this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so Henry VIII?
The fifth. Sorry, did I say the eighth?
Yes. In the first part you did, you said you learned about Henry VIII.
Oh, sorry.
Which is
Henry
what confused me. Okay. Okay.
It's probably because Henry VIII is so popular, the song
exactly.
and everything.
That's what I was thinking,
No,
that you were probably thinking. No.
Yes.
It's okay.
No,
I wanted to
I'm
make
glad.
sure. Because I watched the trailer last night, so I put it on save because I know that's a movie that Gabe and I would like to watch together.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I save movies and then he'll watch it without me. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
We're supposed to watch it together. So I'll wait for him to watch that one because it looks really good.
Yeah, personally, when I started watching it, I was a little lost because I'm not, really up on Henry V and this time period. So I had to Google it a little bit to find my way and figure out what was happening. And of course, the way they talk is different. And I'm like, what are they saying? What are they saying? I don't know what they mean. So I needed a little bit of guidance. But, that was just at the beginning. Afterwards, I'm like, I totally got this. And Robert Pattinson is quite humorous in this. So, yeah. And I am blown away by Timothée Chalamet. He is like a really, really great actor. I'm like, he's so young.
He's a great actor. Yeah.
He's so
young. He did a movie. For him to
pull this off. No, it's okay. For him to pull this off was just amazing.
Wow.
What
How
were you
old
gonna say?
is he did a movie, and I'm so sorry that I cannot remember the name of it, but it took place in the 80s or so, and he went on a family getaway with is like in Italy.
Oh,
right?
Know Me by My Name or whatever that was?
Thank you.
I haven't seen that. I want to see that.
Oh my gosh, that movie was so good. It was like, it'll make you so it'll warm your heart. You know,
Aw,
because he portrayed an amazing character. Was it up for nominations
Yes.
at all?
Yes.
Oh,
it
okay,
was.
good. I'm glad to hear
Yes.
that. I am so glad to hear that because it was so, so, so good. It's very calming. I think you'll really like it.
Yeah.
I think you'll like
I
it.
do want to watch it, but it's one of those
Yeah.
ones I'll probably have to watch on my own. So
Yeah. I don't think your family.
Yeah.
I think it's all you because I
Yeah.
watched it all me. So it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Your guys will be like, "What the mom?" But yeah, I think you'll like it because you can appreciate really good acting.
Yes.
So you know what, Diana?
Yes.
I should have
Brooke.
asked you. I should have asked you in the beginning because we talked about it the last time we saw each other. How
Yeah.
was the film festival?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Oh, that's okay. I was just thinking about it right now too.
Yeah.
Yes, I went to the San Jose International Short Film Festival. I unfortunately was only able to see one segment, but I really enjoyed it. I saw 2 films. The filmmakers were there. They talked about, their process, and I just love the whole event, and I really wish I could have gotten to see more films. But it was good. So I had a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for your recommendations on the movies and the shows that you're watching.
You too.
Thank you. All righty. That's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful that you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you and gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please subscribe to our podcast and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Rate and review the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. We need your feedback.
We'll be uploading new episodes Tuesday, November 26th. Next shows will be on The Walking Dead Season 10, Episodes 6 and 7. You can find our website listed in our show notes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.